Scorpio, Sun, Moon babies, rising as well as Venus. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot, and this is your Mercury in retrograde reading. Mercury in retrograde is the ideal time for us to pause, review, and reflect on where we are in life and possibly even where we want to be. So using tarot today and my little cue cards here that I have set up, we're going to do exactly that, and we'll see what changes you may need to make during this period. So when Mercury goes direct, you will be, like I said, exactly where you need to be or should be. Keep in mind, it is a collective general reading. So as the messages come through today, take what fits, leave what doesn't, because if it's not your message, it simply means it's meant for someone else to hear. And please check your other placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. And if you're not sure what those placements are, in the description box of this video is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. With all of that said now, let's begin. Tapping into the Scorpio collective now. Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. Let's begin with an oracle card here for their Mercury in retrograde message. Okay, let's get one more shuffle here. Thank you. We have Mystic Healer. Healing energy flows through you. And at the bottom of the deck, Impasse. Reflect and redirect your energy. Okay, let's get into tarot here. This is for Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. We are clarifying the anchor. Where do you need to pause? The loop. What pattern are you repeating? The insight. What past will resurface during this time? So you can look at it, reflect on it and heal it. The filter. What boundary may need to be created? The pivot. How you can prepare for when Mercury goes direct on August 3rd. And the return. Who or what may return? Tell me more about this here, please, for Scorpio. Let's get one more shuffle here. Thank you. The anchor, 8 of Cups. The loop, 10 of Pentacles. The insight, the Hermit. The filter, Page of Wands. The pivot, 9 of Pentacles. And the return, the 5 of Wands. Bottom of the deck, we have King of Swords. Okay, let's clarify this further now. We're using the After Tarot deck. If you're not familiar with this deck, the images are slightly different and it does alter or change the meaning of the cards. And we'll go through them as necessary in your reading today. So this is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. We are clarifying the anchor, 8 of Cups. The loop, 10 of Pentacles. The insight, the Hermit. The filter, Page of Wands. The pivot, 9 of Pentacles. The return, the 5 of Wands. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The anchor, 8 of Cups, is clarified by the 2 of Pentacles. The loop, 10 of Pentacles, is clarified by the Sun. The insight, the Hermit, is clarified by the 7 of Pentacles. The filter, Page of Wands, is clarified by the 3 of Pentacles. The pivot, 9 of Pentacles, is clarified by the World card. And the return, the 5 of Wands, is clarified by the Moon. Bottom of the deck, we have the High Priestess. Okay, obviously we're going to clarify this, but the anchor here, this is something that you're holding on to or something that has become a staple in your life. There's some type of disappointment here that you experienced in that 8 of Cups, feeling emotional lack, emotional disappointment with a particular situation, environment, or connection, whether it is still in your life or not. The 2 of Pentacles card in the After Tarot deck, it's like, you know that you need to turn your back on it, and yet you continue to return to it. We're talking about emotions here. So again, whether the person, place, or thing is still in your life, it's like you continue to revisit the pain or the disappointment that you experienced with it. The loop here is doing this, amplifies the wound. It almost like catastrophizes the wound. 10 of Pentacles, the Sun, this is very expansive energy here. So I'm not saying that what you experienced wasn't emotionally disappointing or heartbreaking, but it's like every time we retell the story to ourselves or to others, we magnify it and it gets larger. And that's the loop. The loop is not like being able to heal it or maybe like catastrophizing something here more than we need to. So the insight, something here will occur during Mercury retrograde, will allow you to go within and do the introspection you needed to see that pattern or wound within you. The filter here is learning how to process pain in a way that we don't have to keep reliving it every time we tell the story about it. The pivot here is seeing that lesson or that experience for what it was, leaving it in the past. Again, not the situation, environment, or connection, but the feelings attached to the disappointment. There's something here about becoming free of them and being able to discuss them in a way where, again, we're not reliving the pain, we're just sharing an experience. The return is, if we don't do this, it will like continue to haunt us. 5 of Wands to the Moon. So let's begin to clarify. Clarify that 8 of Cups here for the Scorpio collective. Don't be offended at any of these messages. Only take what resonates. These messages are intended to help us heal. And this is a wound, I feel like, a loop that we, and I say we, most of you know I'm a Scorpio moon, we kind of get trapped in. So clarify that 8 of Cups. Clarify the 8 of Cups here for the Scorpio collective. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The 8 of Cups is clarified by the Strength card. Sorry about that. Queen of Swords. And the 6 of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Wands. So again, situation, environment, or connection here that was or is, because I don't know where you are in the timeline, very emotionally disappointing to you. Maybe some of you had to walk away. Maybe for some of you, this person walked away. You quit, you know, you got fired. They broke up with you. You broke up with them. Whatever occurred here, every time we speak it into existence, we give it power or, yeah, we give it power or influence or energy over us. 2 of Pentacles. Clarify that 2 of Pentacles. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The 2 of Pentacles is clarified by the 9 of Swords, Justice, and the Magician. Bottom of the deck, 8 of Pentacles. So again, the feeling here is, even if I say that I've moved on from it, like I'm not with this person anymore, I'm not at that job, I don't talk to that friend anymore, or even if I still do, but I say that I'm over what occurred between us, the fact remains here that you're not. So when you're communicating about this injustice, if you will, that you feel occurred towards you, you're still very emotional when you talk about it. So whatever transpired here between you and this person, or you and these people, it's like you haven't fully been able to heal it. And so you're not talking about it from a matter of fact type of place, like where it was just an experience you had. You still talk about it from a place of anger or resentment or pain. And there's a loop here that occurs because every time we discuss it, we make it even larger and larger and larger, which almost doesn't enable the wound here to heal. 10 of Pentacles. Clarify that 10 of Pentacles. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The 10 of Pentacles is clarified by the 4 of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, and the 4 of Cups. Bottom of the deck, 4 of Wands. So every time we talk about what occurred here, and look, I'm not telling you not to talk about it. I'm not telling you not to share your experience or confide in a friend or speak to a therapist. But there's something here of the way we talk about it, the way we tell the story, the way we share the experience keeps us trapped, 4 of Pentacles, in the 4 of Cups. So it keeps us in a state of like being the victim, as opposed to someone who had a terrible experience and is walking away with the knowledge and not the pain. And now when you speak about it, you would be speaking about it from a place of authority, being the healed, right? Being a healed version of yourself, being the healer, the mystic healer, as opposed to speaking about it from the place of being the victim. Okay, tell me more about the Sun. Whatever occurred here was meant to empower you, not victimize you. Some of you still speak about it from a place of being a victim, even if it happened 20 years ago. So it's not changing the story, changing the way we speak of the story, we speak of the experience. Instead of catastrophizing it and speaking about it from a place where that Sun, it's going to amplify the pain. Speaking about it from a more grounded place where it actually becomes healing. Hope that's making sense for someone watching. The Sun, one more shuffle. Thank you. The Sun is clarified by Judgment. That's a judgment call here that we can make. 6 of Cups about whatever transpired here in the past with this person or these people. Four of Wands. Bottom of the deck, Two of Wands. It's moving forward in a healthier way. And we have the Four of Wands here twice. So it's moving forward in a healthier way. And look, I don't know how long ago that Eight of Cups incident or experience occurred for you. I mean, maybe for some of you it was 20 years ago or 6 years ago with that Six of Pentacles. But it's most likely like it happens more recent, like probably within the last 7 to 8 months. If we're looking at that Eight of Cups as a timing card, that would be within the last 8 months. So maybe from December till now. There's a different way to tell the story. It should be coming from a place of empowerment, not from a place of victimization or victimhood. So there's a wound here that is anchored to you, or you are anchored to it, that you have not yet healed from. The Hermit. This is the insight. Tell me about the Hermit. So something is occurring here during Mercury retrograde to make you realize that wound is still not healed. And it could be something that someone says to you. Tell me about the Hermit. It could be this reading for some of you. One more shuffle. Thank you. Yeah, you're still anchored to the pain. And again, you might say, oh, I'm over it. We've reconciled, or I moved on from it. I don't need her, or I don't need him, or I don't need that job. But within you, the wound that was created from that experience is unhealed. And so every time you speak about it, all that anger and pain comes out. The Hermit is clarified by the Hanged Man. So something is occurring here. We have the Sun and we have the Lovers. Bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Wands. So there's something here, I want to clarify this a little bit more for you, that is transpiring during Mercury retrograde to get you to pause and look at it. The Lovers is Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is communication. So something here is going to transpire, or you might enter a conversation with someone where that topic comes up. And that's your moment to pause and recognize and almost like listen to yourself while you're talking or while you're texting, or whatever the communication here is between you and this other person. And listen to yourself the way you're talking about that experience. Are you talking about it like, this is what I experienced? It was an unfortunate incident, but this is what I learned from it. Or as opposed to, I can't believe that mother effer did that to me. And maybe it happened 5 years ago, but when you talk about it, you're supposed to catch yourself. So whatever that Eight of Cups has been for you, and however long ago it was, there's an opportunity here in that Lover's card to communicate about it, to talk about it. And your message here is to just pause and listen to yourself. How are you communicating about that Eight of Cups? Because if it's still coming from a place of pain and aggression, then that's something we need to heal. So I feel like there's a wound here that the universe is, going to kind of tap you on the shoulder and be like, hey, that bruise back there, the one you keep forgetting about, like we need to address this. And the way you'll know that you're not healed from it is how you communicate about it. So Seven of Pentacles, the pause. Tell me more about this here. One more shuffle. Thank you. Seven of Pentacles is clarified by the Four of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands. Bottom of the deck, King of Wands. So speaking about this is supposed to trigger for you this feeling of, I can take the lessons that I learned, the Eight of Pentacles, the way that this helped to reshape me or mold me or help me grow. There's something here about like dumping out the pain. Like this person is dumping out that Ace of Cups. So you should be able to speak about this with from a place of like clarity, from a more healed place, from a place of almost being a master of that particular lesson in your life, as opposed to speaking about it from this Four of Cups. This is victimization. This is empowerment. The Filter. Tell me about the Page of Wands. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Page of Wands is clarified by the Nine of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and the Chariot. Bottom of the deck, we have the World card. This is definitely about speaking about a painful experience from that point of view, from a place of experience. It's not saying not to talk about it or not to share what you've gone through, but to do it from a healed place, from an empowering place for you and for the person or people you're talking to about it. Three of Pentacles. Tell me about the Three of Pentacles. And that's how you're able to, or will be able to take that unfortunate, circumstance, if you will, and actually help to like heal other people even. Tell me more about that. Tell me more about that Three of Pentacles. One more shuffle. Thank you. Three of Pentacles, clarified by the Three of Cups, the Three of Wands, and the Nine of Cups. Bottom of the deck, Wheel of Fortune. There's without a doubt something here about seeing it differently and speaking about it differently. And when you speak about a negative experience, I'm not saying yet you have to put on rose-colored glasses or pretend that that was a lot better than what it was, but it actually is more empowering for those around you that you're communicating with about that. It's more empowering also for them. So you're not only healing yourself, you're healing the people that you talk about. It's making them realize that you were able to come through this difficult situation in a healed way, and that they too can come through a difficult time. So I have a feeling here during Mercury retrograde that you're having a conversation with someone who has or is currently having a very similar experience to you, even if you don't know about it. And so being able to discuss this experience of yours from a more healed place also helps heal this other person or these other people. The pivot, Nine of Pentacles, and the World. Again, it's taking the lessons and moving forward in a different way. Taking the lessons, not the pain. Tell me about the Nine of Pentacles. Tell me about the Nine of Pentacles. It's saying that happened to me and it was terrible while I was going through it, but I wouldn't be the person I am today. So it's going to sound so rough for those of you still going through it. It's being able to almost have gratitude. Nine of Pentacles sometimes could be seen as a card of gratitude. I have some tarot decks that actually have like words on the bottom, like little bullet points, what the card means. And one of them is like empowerment and gratitude. So it actually becomes very empowering for you to say, I went through that experience and I'm all the more better for it. Even though while going through it, it was terrible. But I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't experience it, because now I have all of this knowledge. Now I am healed. Now I can become a healer for others. Now when I talk about it from a healed place. And therefore, whoever I'm communicating with, it almost becomes a healing message for them as well. So it's redirecting, reflecting on this wound, and then redirecting your energy, how you speak about it, from a more healed or empowering way. It's making the decision here that as I move forward, I'm going to talk about that as that was terrible while I was going through it. But I'm grateful for that experience because now I know the value of me. Now I know the value of money. Now I know the value of time. Now I know what healthy relationship looks like. Now I know what a good work environment looks like. Like, again, whatever that has been for you. And that is empowering to you and the person or people you will converse with moving forward when you discuss that topic. Nine of Pentacles, clarified by the King of Wands, the High Priestess, and the Nine of Wands, bottom of the deck, Three of Wands. It's moving forward in a way that I'm speaking from a place of authority, not from a place of woundedness in the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands would be the King of Wands taking action or even talking, because the World card here has, instead of all four fixed signs, it has all four aces. And I'm looking right at that Ace of Swords. So this is like when I take initiative here to discuss what occurred here, I discuss it from a place of higher knowledge. The High Priestess. The High Priestess is the only card in tarot that actually has the Book of Knowledge, as opposed to discussing this moving forward from a place of being a victim. You weren't a victim. You were a student. You learned something. And now how you communicate about what you learned puts you now in the role of teacher. Clarify the World card. It's seeing it as a lesson, a necessary evil, an unfortunate situation you had experienced. So now you know the worth and value of blank better. One more shuffle here. Thank you. And that's how we redirect. Four Swords, we heal that wound by the way we speak about it. King of Wands shows itself again, and the Hermit. And there you are, Hermit to Hermit here. Bottom of the deck, Ace of Pentacles. Speaking about whatever transpired here from a more grounded place, from a place of authority, from a place of I experienced this and I grew from it. I didn't become a victim of that incident. I'll give you an example using myself. You extrapolate it and you apply it to your life how you see fit. When I was 19 years old, I was in a very abusive relationship. It was like a love at first sight thing. I got a job as a bank teller. I became friends with the head bank teller. A month or two later, she was having a wedding like in her parents' backyard. And she invited me. She invited all of us. And I went and I fell for her brother. I had no idea that he was on, on drugs. It's the family didn't even know. He's like one of those covert drug users, unfortunately, drug abusers, highly narcissistic. I was 19. I didn't really have any real boyfriends before then. He quickly moved the relationship along, and I just went along with it because I was young and naive and in love, and my family loved him. They thought he was amazing. Everyone thought Michael was amazing. No one knew what Michael was like when you were a woman just living with him. He was physically abusive. He was sexually abusive. When he was high, he was just a completely different person. And being much taller and larger than me, I could not fend him off. I would leave and I would return to him. And I would leave and I would return to him. And when I would talk to my parents about what was happening, I definitely was coming from that wounded place, right? Because I was victimized, and therefore I was speaking like a victim. When I finally left him, it was because he cracked my collarbone on the edge of the tub. That was like the last time that I had seen him. We fast forward now. Now I'm 52. Okay, I was 19. Now I'm 52. Now when I speak about it, I am not a victim. I don't need his apology. I don't need his closure. I'm not even angry over what he did. And you're probably wondering, how the hell do you go through 18 months of abuse and not be angry at the person? I'm not angry at him at all. I would not be who I am today had it not been for him. I actually looked him up on Facebook within the last couple of years and connected with him and found out that he got married and he has 2 or 3 daughters. Wife had breast cancer at the time, and I felt terrible that she did. So Fran seemed like a very nice woman. And I was able to, and still am able to, speak about it from a place of, I experienced that. It's part of my past. It was an unfortunate experience, but I learned a lot from it. Boy, did I learn a lot from it. And now I can speak about it from a place of empowerment. And often you'll see me in my videos wearing like, the off the shoulder shirts. And I know a lot of people give me flack for that, but I own this. I own this wound. I took it back. And so I can talk about it from as casually now as I would talk about, like this morning, I had 2 scrambled eggs for breakfast and 3 pieces of bacon, true story. And my coffee is still there. So it's being able to transmute the pain, if you will, into something that is more empowering. So now I'm speaking to you about it. I don't know who you are on the other end of this watching this. Maybe you've gone through something similar. Maybe you're currently going through it. Now you can see that you can come through the other side. It does not have to plague you. You do not have to be a victim to it. You were already a victim to whatever this was the first time it happened to you, the first time you experienced it. From here on out, you don't have to talk about it as if you're a victim. From here on out, you talk about it as if you are a survivor. It's a much different tone. And the people around you understand that they can come through it too, whether it's exactly what they're going through or something similar. So I would expect over the course of Mercury retrograde, you will have a conversation with a person or people, and this topic will come up for you. And when the topic does come up for you, whatever that 8 of Cups is, this is your moment to pause and reflect and actually listen to your words. Check with your body. How are you currently feeling? Because if you're feeling, you start getting sweaty and you're getting hot and you're starting to curse and you can like almost feel your blood pressure when it increases, that should let you know that you're not healed. And you're speaking about is still from a place of victimization. And therefore you continue to be a victim. When you speak about it from a place of woundedness, it's like you're reliving that trauma. And so you're basically signaling to your body, it is happening now, or it is happening again, which will totally dysregulate you, your nervous system and everything. So there's a way here during Mercury retrograde when you have this conversation to check in with yourself about how you're feeling, and actually listen to yourself on how you talk about it. Because some of you think you're over that and you're not. And the body doesn't lie. So I would pay attention, again, when that conversation occurs, how you're actually feeling about it. And for others of you, if this is something more recent, you might say that you're healed or you're over it, but the way you talk about it should indicate to you whether you are or you're not. So you have an opportunity here during Mercury retrograde, planet of communication, that when we go direct, we no longer talk about that experience as if it just happened 5 minutes ago. We talk about it like it was something that happened in the past that we learned from, and we are now empowered and wiser and even grateful for it, because we wouldn't be who we are today had it not been for that incident. The return. I feel like if we don't do anything, we continue to exist in that state of victimization. And we continue to be 5 of Wands to the moon, emotionally dysregulated because of it. The moon rules our emotions. So it's almost like we continue to give our power to that person or that experience. So this is like if we don't address this, and we don't start to heal it, we don't start to or begin to speak differently about it, then we just end up a perpetual victim of something that happened long ago. And that, again, just keeps us in that traumatic cycle, if you will, and it makes the body think it's happening again. Tell me about that 5 of Wands. So reflect and redirect your energy based on how you communicate about this moving forward. One more shuffle. Thank you. The 5 of Wands is clarified by the Fool, the King of Cups, and the Devil. Bottom of the deck, 2 of Pentacles. So if we don't do anything about this, and so Mercury goes into retrograde on June 29th. It'll go direct on July 23rd. We're already in pre-shadow. We entered pre-shadow on June 12th. Post-shadow will take us until August 3rd. So on August 4th, when we wake up, Fool card, we're now in the new era, right? Because Mercury now is direct. And we think we're okay because we haven't addressed the wounds. The next time we speak about it, look what creeps up. The little old devil. Devil to the King of Cups would be someone who's emotionally dysregulated, or someone who's allowing a past traumatic experience to still dictate how they talk about themselves and about the experience. And it keeps you, or will keep you, in this perpetual cycle of being a victim. Tell me about the moon. Tell me about the moon. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The moon is clarified by the Queen of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Chariot. Bottom of the deck, Page of Cups. There's definitely something here. We have the ability to move forward in a more healed way, all based upon how we talk about it. The Queen of Cups in the After Tarot deck is taking the lid off the chalice. She's seeing it from a different perspective, what's inside that chalice. It's no longer a source of pain that dysregulates her. It's now a source of empowerment. She's converting or redirecting pain into power to move her forward. I just say her, she, there's a woman on the card. You could be a masculine, don't be offended. So I'm going to look at what's at the bottom of the deck, but first let's get into oracle cards and some kippers. So the anchor is, you are anchored to sharing the story from a place of pain. And again, I'm not trying to minimize for you what you've experienced at all. I mean, I don't know what that 8 of Cups was for you. Financial loss, emotional loss, you know, someone abused you. I'm certainly not trying to tell you, oh, you should be over it by now. That is a terrible message. I would never do that. But we do need to, we need to learn how to speak differently about it. We're not a victim of what occurred there. We are a survivor. We need to speak like a survivor. And that will encourage other survivors to heal as well. Let's get 3 oracle cards here, please, for the Scorpio collective. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Breakthrough, innovation, safety. Bottom of the deck, healing. Breakthrough. Overcome obstacles, move beyond limitations, embracing new growth. See it as a growth experience. I know, and again, I don't know what it was for you. For some of you, it wasn't that bad, but you still hold on to it. For others of you, it was a terrible incident, and I don't want to get into it. That's your story. but see it differently. Have that breakthrough, that moment of clarity. I would not be the Scorpio I am today if that didn't happen. Innovation, boldly experiment, and be open to new possibilities. So innovate. This is Uranus. Uranus is the higher level of Mercury. Mercury rules communication. So innovate, change the way you speak about it. Safety, feel protected and stable, grounded in security no matter what life brings. That tumultuous situation, that heartbreaking situation. Be a lighthouse. Be a lighthouse in the storm for others. You survived it. Whatever it was, however long ago it happened, the fact that you're here watching this tells me you survived it. So moving forward, let's change the narrative and let's talk about it as if we are survivors, healed, and guidance. For some of you, by doing this, you will actually knowingly or unknowingly help to heal others. It's like you become the hermit or you become the guide. You become the healer now. Let's get you a couple of kippers here. 6 kippers here, please, for the Scorpio collective. Let's get 2 cards here. One for the anchor. Yeah, one for the anchor, one for the loop. Sorry. One for the anchor and one for the loop. Okay. The loop, occupation. The anchor, the message. Changing how we, and working, right? This is going to take a skill here to break this loop on how we communicate. Again, whether text message and writing, a conversation face-to-face, actually making it our job to change the way we talk about this bad health or this, again, unfortunate situation that we found ourselves in. 2 cards here, one for the insight and one for the filter. Okay. We have, oh, look at the bad health card came out on the side. So that conversation is meant to trigger for you that you are not fully healed yet from this experience, even if you say you are. Listen to yourself how you talk about it. And then the child card is like rebirthing. I'm going to rebirth the way I talk about this. And 2 cards here, one for the pivot and one for the return. We have journey, talking about it as if it was part of your life's experience. This was part of my life's journey. I wouldn't be where I am today without it. And one here for the return. Thoughts. Yeah, say if we don't change the way how we talk about it, the next time it creeps up in our thought or in our memory, 8 of Swords. We are still imprisoned by it. And for our bodies, it's literally when we talk about something like that in a very hyper way, it triggers our mind to think this is happening all over again. It triggers our nervous system to say, oh my God, this is happening now. So be very mindful of that trap. Expectation, coffin, and the Lovers. It's your choice. You can finally heal this once and for all and put it behind you, believe it or not, just based upon how you talk about it moving forward. Let's look at the cards here at the bottom of the deck. We have 2 of Pentacles, 4 of Wands, and Knight of Pentacles. This was a learning experience. Now I know what happiness looks like, or what stability should be, or what partnership is like, or what I want in a partner. Again, we get a choice here in that 2 of Pentacles on how we're going to discuss this. Discuss it from a healed place. Knight of Pentacles. Like, well, this was just part of my journey. Page of Cups, 8 of Swords, King of Cups. Look at that King of Cups dumping out that cup. Speaking about it from a place where this is what I survived. This is what I escaped. This is what I overcame. This is what I learned. Not a victim. Dumping out that cup is this King of Cups dumping out the devil. Not staying anchored or tied to the feelings or the emotions or the terrible memories. Just take the knowledge with you. There's, again, something here about transmuting. 4 of Pentacles, this is like the story you were holding on to, and this is freeing yourself from it in the scorpionic energy. It's very healing for other people in your life. The 5 of Cups card in the After Tarot deck, we have a new set of 2 of Cups. We're not crying over the poisonous cups here that spilled over. So now as we move forward and we Ace of Swords engage with other people, we engage from a more healed place. And you actually, without realizing it, become the mystic healer. So healing energy flows through you. Reflect and redirect your energy. The story you tell about this situation or experience should change or needs to change. And like I said, some conversation here will be taking place during Mercury retrograde to make you realize or make you more aware, give you some insight that that wound still needs to be healed. And the best way for you to transform or transmute that pain is to see it differently, not to see yourself as a victim, but to see yourself as an empowered survivor. That is what I have for you, Scorpio. That is your Mercury and retrograde message. If you like those messages, they've resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, comment, subscribe, hype the video if you're able to do that on your mobile device. And don't forget to check out your other placements. Until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace.